Have you ever learned English from a textbook, felt pretty good about it, and then stepped outside and felt completely and utterly lost, like you're hearing a totally different language? Yeah, you are not alone. Today, we're going to dive into the world of American street talk, the real, kind of messy, and honestly fascinating way people actually speak.
Okay, take a look at this sentence. On paper, it looks like absolute nonsense, right? I mean, it's full of pauses, filler words, and it doesn't even finish. But I promise you, millions of people would understand this instantly. This isn't broken English. It's a code, and we're about to crack it together.
So what is going on here? Well, it turns out this chaos actually has rules. They're unwritten rules, for sure, but they're there. And once you see them, you're going to unlock a whole new level of understanding and, honestly, connection.
First up, we've got to talk about the massive gap between classroom English and what I'm calling street English. You can almost think of them as two different languages, really, built for two completely different purposes.
Just look at the difference here. The textbook version is grammatically perfect, but let's be honest, it sounds like a robot. The street version, though, it's fast, it's natural. It drops words, it uses slang like what's up, it shortens heading to head-in. The whole point isn't to be correct, it's to be understood, quickly and casually.
And this right here, this gets to the single most important rule of all this. The goal of real, everyday street talk is not perfect grammar. It's connection. It's all about building a vibe, sharing a feeling, and creating a bond with the person you're talking to. It's about being human, together.
All right, next up, the sound of conversation. Because in street talk, so often the music of the language matters way more than the actual words being said.
Yeah, we're talking about tone and rhythm. You can think of it as the emotional soundtrack of our language. I mean, think about just one word, like great. You can say it like you just won the lottery. Great. Or you could say it like your car just got towed. Great. Same word, totally different meaning. The only difference is the tone. That's where the real message is hiding. Native speakers do this stuff all the time, without even thinking about it. A little rise in your tone can turn a statement into a question. A flat, monotone voice can signal that you're totally bored. Learning to hear this music is the real key to understanding how someone actually feels about what they're saying to you. Okay, now let's get into the part that trips up just about everyone, the so-called mistakes. I'm putting that in air quotes because these little quirks aren't errors at all. They're actually the social glue that holds a real conversation together.
First on the list, filler words. You know them, the ums, the ahs, the likes. We all use them. But they aren't just nervous tics. They're a signal. They basically mean, hang on, my brain is buffering for a second, but please don't interrupt me, I'm not done yet. It's how you hold your spot in the conversation.
And what's cool is that each filler word has its own specific job. Like can soften what you're saying, like it was like 5 o'clock-ish. It can also be used to quote an internal thought, like, and I was like, whoa. You know, that's a little check-in. It's asking, are you with me? Are you following? And or that's just the universal sound of a brain processing information. See, these aren't mistakes. They're conversational tools.
And then you have the classic half-finished sentence. Someone starts a thought and just stops. So why do they do that? Because they assume that you know how it ends. If your friend says, well, his excuse was just, and then trails off with a big sigh, your brain automatically fills in the blank. Completely ridiculous. It's all about that shared understanding.
Okay, so now we have our tools. We've got our decoder ring, we know to listen for the music, the tone, and we know how to decode fillers and unfinished sentences. So let's go back to that mystery sentence from the beginning and see if we can finally crack the code.
Here it is again. It might still look a little chaotic, but this time we know the secret. We're not just reading words anymore, we are decoding social signals.
Let's just break it down step by step. First, listen for the tone. It's informal, it's excited, this person is sharing something surprising. Second, let's spot the fillers. We've got like, you know, those are just moments for the brain to catch up. Third, we decode the slang. He just goes, that is classic storyteller slang for quoting someone. It just means, and then he said. And finally, we put it all together. The person is simply telling a surprising story.
And boom, there it is. All of that messy, authentic, real street talk boils down to a pretty simple idea. The extra words, the pauses, the slang, that wasn't the message itself. That was the gift wrap. It was the packaging that told us how to feel about the real message hidden inside.
So, next time you're listening to native speakers, maybe in a movie or just out at a coffee shop, try this out. Don't just listen to the words. Listen for the music. Listen for those hidden patterns underneath all the beautiful chaos.
And if you ever feel lost, just remember this one thing. Real conversation is not a grammar test. It's an invitation to connect with another human being. It's about sharing a moment and understanding each other, imperfections and all.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Every single language has its own version of this, its own secret, unwritten rules for how people really talk to each other. So, let me ask you, what are the unspoken rules of conversation where you live?